Hello everyone, Ray here. The S7 Edge was such a refined, all-round, and beautiful Android flagship launched earlier this year. Now we also have the newer and supposed to be better Note 7. They share a similar design language, well, almost the same specifications. They both support fast wireless charging and microSD expansion. Have I just bought the same phone twice? Nope. The answer is clear. No. The fingerprint sensor is much faster on the Note 7. Look, just a tap is now long enough for the sensor to determine whether you are the owner or not. While on the S7 Edge, you have to hold the button until it's unlocked. The iris scanner on the Note 7 is also superb, even in complete dark environment. It gets the job done as quickly as it does under good lighting. After you have washed your hand, or maybe at a freezing cold winter night that you are wearing gloves, the iris scanner would become a must-have function. The S Pen, now with 4096 sensitivity levels and a 0.7mm tip. The S Pen itself is better than it was on the Note 5. While the software does matter, it is actually what I think the Note 7's the more practical phone between the two. Hovering the S Pen on words or languages that you don't understand will simply give you a translation and even the pronunciation. Magnify is also a smart use of the S Pen. You can of course pinch to zoom on web pages, but you can't on apps like Instagram and Facebook. It is super handy to just hover the S Pen on small details that you are interested in and zoom. Now, the function I've used the most, Glance. I just saw some useful information on a website and I wanted to share on Facebook, for example. Now first put internet to glance mode, copy the information needed, then take away the S Pen. Boom, we are now back on the Facebook app, and the post is ready to share. GIF recording is also a new terrific function which allows you to share selected area on the screen to social media, instead of the whole screen containing everything. The home button again, the silver ring circling the button on the Note 7 protrudes slightly over the home button itself. It prevents the plastic surface in the middle touching flat surface, so scratches are now less likely to happen. If you take a further closer look at the aluminum frame, it's like melted to the glass panels on the Note 7, but you can still find the frame on the S7 Edge is slightly wider than the glass panels. Combined with a symmetrical design, the Note 7's much smoother to hold. The curved display is also modified on the Note 7. Back on the S7 Edge, the curve is way more exaggerated. The whole alphabet P and Q on the keyboard is on the curved area of the screen, but on the Note 7 the screen starts to curve on the edges of the two alphabets, so mostly I'm typing on a flat surface. So they do look similar, but they act and feel different. Oh, and the DPI setting on the Note 7 is higher than that on the S7 Edge, so everything on the Note 7 is more closely packed, the font size is also smaller, with more information shown on every single page. The interface on the Note 7 is more like a phablet or tablet. The S7 Edge, completely a phone. Now under good lighting, both the Note 7 and the S7 Edge gives vibrant, saturated, and sharp images. The camera sensors are actually the same with 12 megapixels and a 1.7 aperture, optical image stabilization, and dual pixel technology. They performed so closely that I can't even find any differences between the shots taken under broad daylight. Again, with tons of pictures coming. Hope you guys enjoy. For the last two shots, I'm actually surprised by how close, no, identically they performed. In some particular shots like this one, the Note 7 tends to give some slightly more exaggerated colors, but most of the time I would say the camera on the Note 7 is identical to the one on the S7 Edge. But that's only under broad daylight. There's a whole new story for low-light photography. More on that in a second.
We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are.
In the evening, both the S7 Edge and the Note 7 gives super bright photos, which are even brighter than it actually is, as we'll see in a second, unless we are taking pictures in completely dark or extreme environments. The differences are negligible. Now the coming shots will demonstrate how the Note 7 takes better images than the S7 Edge. Level of details, noise reduction are almost identical, but the white balance. For the last few shots, the S7 Edge gives much warmer photos with a pinkish tint. The Note 7, the contrast is much higher. The whole image looks more realistic and the colors are much more accurate. The differences may not be huge, but the Note 7 takes better low-light images. The display, despite they share the same Quad HD resolution and a similar curved design, the screen size of course different, the improvement on the display quality is more than noticeable. The screen on the Note 7 produces more than 1000 nits compared to around 500 on the S7 Edge, so under direct sunlight the Note 7's much brighter to look at and much easier to use. Meanwhile, the calibration of the display is also modified on the Note 7. Back on the S7 Edge, we have a cooler white balance for AMOLED Cinema display mode, while on the Note 7, only Adaptive Display has that cooler white balance, and color saturation has also been toned down a little bit on the newer, supposed to be better Note 7. So those are the differences between the Note 7 and the S7 Edge. Of course, the newer Note 7 ships with the latest Samsung TouchWiz interface, but an update is expected for the S7 Edge, especially with that battery gate. From day-to-day media consumption to heavy gaming experience, the Note 7 performed nearly identical to the S7 Edge, with the same processor, same amount of RAM, and same display resolution. IP68 water industry assistant and single down-firing speakers are also identical. The last difference I could find between them is the battery life. On the Note 7, I'm able to get around 3.5 to 4 hours of screen-on time with heavy usage, similar to the S7 Edge, but under the controlled test, the newer Note 7 is not necessarily the better performing one here. Still, the difference is subtle. So here you have it. Do you think the Note 7 is better than the S7 Edge? I think it is, with a better low-light camera, better build quality, a better display, a faster and more responsive fingerprint sensor, and a truly outstanding iris scanner and the S Pen.